Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I am Matt. Hope you're all doing well. Today, we're going to check out the Lost Vape Orion Q. This is a follow-up to their very popular Lost Vape Orion Go from last year. Had the DNA Go chip inside. This is a more simple version of that does not have the DNA Go chipset. So let's go ahead and dive into it. This is what your packaging is going to look like. So inside, you do have a user manual, a little warning card, a warranty registration card. Now, they call this Lost Vape Quest. Now, I believe that Lost Vape is now going to be making products under the Quest line that does not have DNA chips in it, okay? So you might see one mod come out that has a DNA in it, and then that same mod that has a separate, proprietary Lost Vape chip. And so that's basically a new brand under the Lost Vape name. And then you have your Orion Q, a lanyard, and one of these little rubber bands that goes around your mod to connect the lanyard to. And then a micro USB charging cable. Now, I believe this also does come in a kit where they include pods with it, a one pod with it. I'll cover different pricing at the end of the video, but you're also going to be able to buy pods separately in one of these 2-packs here. Now, before we look at the device, let's check out these pods. These are the new 1 ohm pods that are designed specifically for the Orion Q device, right? You could use these 1 ohm pods on your DNA Go, your Orion DNA Go device, but obviously it wouldn't work in replay mode because these are Kanthal, and I think you'd have to set up a new profile for these 1 ohm pods. Now, on this Orion Q, you can use, obviously, these 1 ohm pods that are designed specifically for it, but you can also use the 0.5 ohm for the DNA Go with the Orion Q. The 0.25 ohm will not work with the Orion Q. Now, one difference is on these newer pods, the AFC ring is a little bit different, okay? It's got a little more texture on it. I did hear that all the pods going forward, even the ones for the DNA Go version, are going to have that AFC ring. It does spin pretty freely, and on the original one, it was kind of a free spinner as well. You have airflow that goes in on both sides, okay, and there is your tip, pretty wide bore. Now, one of the issues that I said I had with this in my best of 2018 video, I did put this in there, but I said I wish it had more true MTL pods, and some people are like, well, man, I get a great MTL vape out of this, blah-de-da-de-da. Fair enough. If you enjoy it, that's fine, but when you have airflow coming in on both slots right there, it then travels down a pretty large chamber right here and then goes up, hits your coil, and you have a pretty large chamber right here. It is not good for a tight MTL draw, even if you close your airflow down to barely nothing. Because think about it. You got air going in, those little holes right there, but then it kind of splays out into this big old chamber. And by the time it gets to your coil, you don't have enough pressure. It's not hitting your coil with enough force. So for me, I found that about halfway is pretty good. You could maybe close it to about that. But once you really start closing this thing down a bunch, trying to get a tight, true MTL vape off of it, it doesn't work well. Wide open, it's more of a restricted lung hit. We'll talk about this more when we go up top. Okay, so you have your horizontal coil right there. Your liquid is right here, holds 2 mLs of liquid. In order to fill it, you unscrew this cap like so. And I'm going to put a 50-50 PGVG 12 milligram in here. Once it's full, put the cap back on. And then you want to let this sit for a few minutes. If you want the coil to prime up faster, you can do some primer puffs. Okay, you could, suck on it really hard, and that can pull liquid into the chamber right here. So here is the Orion Q device. Now, they call this a weave. This is the blue weave. So I don't know if this is a true carbon fiber, okay? I don't think it is, but they're just calling it a weave on the box. This is going to come in multiple different color variations. I've been using the stainless steel weave right here, okay? And as far as the size and the build quality, it's pretty close to the original Orion. In size, it's the same. In build quality, it might be a little bit lower, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So you do have a micro USB charge port on the side now instead of on the bottom, and there is no button right here to control wattage, replay mode, all that stuff. On the base there, you do have some venting. The frame is stainless steel, and then you got these weave panels, says Orion Q right there, Lost Vape right there. In order to put these pods in, you just push down and it clicks together. They do have a little bit of play up and down, but they still feel fairly secure, and you can see a little bit of a gap right there. It's a little bit looser fit than on the DNA Go version. If you want to pull your pod out, you pull down on this little lever, and that comes out. 5 clicks turns this on and off. Now, I don't want to fire on this one yet because I want to let my my pod sit and saturate a little bit more, but we'll go ahead and look at the button on this one. So when you fire, you have a light down here that lights up. Between 64 to 100%, that is blue. 18 to 64%, that'll be purple. And then 0 to 17%, that will be red. Okay, so a little bit less battery feedback than on the DNA Go version. And then obviously if you want to turn this on and off, you're putting it in your pocket, just 5 clicks. So while this doesn't have different wattage adjustments, it does have regulated wattage. You're getting a constant 17 watts on this, okay? And I did use this from max all the way down to where it dies, and the vape is the exact same for me. And so there is regulation in here at 17 watts, but you just can't adjust it to different wattages, right? You're stuck on that 17. As far as build quality goes, the only thing that I saw that wasn't as good as the original, like I said, is that you got a little bit of play with these pods. It's a little gappy right here. And these buttons, they don't rattle, but it has a bit of a loose feel. From what I remember on my DNA Go version, I can't figure out what I did with it. I took it on vacation and now I can't find it. The button was a little loose on that one as well. And the little adjustment button down here was a little bit loose. But it doesn't rattle or anything like that. Okay, guys, so that is it for the up close. Let's go ahead, go up top, vape this, and talk about it a little more.